Hello, listeners, and welcome to another episode of All in Our Business Podcast, the show where we discuss hot and controversial relationship topics while sharing our love journey along the way. It's your boy TC.
And it's your girl Kiki.
And we got any shout outs this week, baby?
I just want to shout out our listeners. We thank y'all so very much for rocking with us each and every week. We appreciate you so very much.
I want to say thank you to our, as I'm gonna call it, our consistent listeners. We have listeners that literally every week chime in like clockwork. So I want to thank them for being loyal. I want to thank them for consistently listening in. I want to thank all those folks who do engage with us on social media. We appreciate it. We love y'all. So thank you for all our listeners, but specifically for those ones that I can see every week. You're on it every week. You listen to every episode, and you constantly rocking with us. So thank you.
Y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, let's get into what we got going on today. What's our topic for the day, baby?
So today we're going to get all in our business.
Okay.
And we're taking it to the movies.
Okay. Night at the movies, y'all.
At the movies. And because it's all in our business, we're going to talk about two movies that we love the most.
We do.
Yeah. But now after seeing them as an adult, we like, hold up.
It's a little bit different.
It is. It gives us a different perspective.
There's a lot of toxicity in there.
Listen, it is. So this is the podcast where we can get deep into the business of life, love, and the culture that shape us. So today we're changing it up, and we're going to do this thing. And it's going to be fun. For those of you who don't know, TC loves movies.
I absolutely love movies. Love them.
He loves movies. I love books.
But we love each other regardless.
Yes, absolutely. And his friends always joke that he is the ultimate movie critic.
And I have this thing. I call it a $2 movie. And they be like, hey, what you think about this movie? They always want my opinion on the movies. And I'm like, it's a $2 movie.
And then they
matter of fact, I ain't getting keep the change.
Exactly. You do say that, yeah. And you can probably recite some movies line by line.
I can.
Now
a lot of them by line, which is scary.
A lot. Yeah. Yep. So now, every time we watch the movies or the classic movies, you're always seeing them from a different perspective.
I look at them. I look at them from love or whatever may be going on in the movie. I look at it from that perspective, and of course, as you can see, we're tying it back to our podcast for this week.
That's what I was going to say. We thought it would be kind of good to convey some of these thoughts to our listeners about things we've captured in the two movies that we've watched over the time. So today we're going to talk about two films that we talked about that redefined sports romance genre. And the 2000 classic, Love and Basketball, and the 2010 favorite, Just Wright.
Just Wright.
These two films show very different kinds of love, even though both are connected to what? Basketball.
I be hooping.
His favorite sport. So, Love and Basketball is about growing into love over time. Love starts young and is intense, emotional, and sometimes toxic. Both people are ambitious and stubborn. They hurt each other because they're still maturing. And in this story, love requires time apart, growth, and self-discovery. And on the opposite end, we have Just Wright. And that's about recognizing real love and when it shows up. Love grows from friendship, care, and consistency. One person shows up selfishly and as her authentic self. And they both learn to value substance over looks. And there's less drama, but more on the emotional safety and respect aspects of this particular movie. So, but before we get into it anymore, can you please hit us with a good scripture?
I got one for you.
Okay.
Romans 12:10. Be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There you go, Romans 12:10.
Okay, thank you. Love it, babe. So, we may take a few minutes today, and discuss both of these movies. I feel like, why can't we talk about one without the other? Is it just because of basketball, or these movies show us that the hardest game to play isn't on the hardwood, but it's in your heart? So today we're going to start with breaking down Quincy and Monica, and then we're going to go with Scott and Leslie.
Okay.
All right, so come on with Love and Basketball.
Okay. So, Love and Basketball. Of course, I'm sure a lot of people have seen this. some of our listeners, I'm sure, hasn't seen this movie. But think about watching it at the age of 20 as opposed to watching it now for us in our 40s. It's just a different dynamic. We looked at it back then. Honestly, probably for me at that age, I was probably just looking at it for the basketball aspect.
Okay.
No offense.
And I was looking at it from the love aspect.
Exactly.
God.
You already see we both looked at it in a different light. And now,
Yeah.
with me looking back at it, I look at it from the love perspective of how, how they went through their whole journey. They both knew they liked each other from the beginning, but they just somehow couldn't connect and keep that connection. And, of course, it was over some dumb stuff that they did break up initially. And then, of course, you got to play for your heart at the end, which, whatever. Hey, let me wake up in the middle of the night, we're going to hoop.
We're going to go hoop.
And nobody in the neighborhood told him, don't put that damn ball up. You know that wasn't a black neighborhood.
Exactly. You already know that.
Somebody would have definitely said something.
Yeah.
But let's get into it, though.
Okay.
Let's really
so
get
I think
into it.
that film is a powerful love story. And although it's wrapped around the world of basketball, I think at the core, it's more about how love grows, struggles, and evolves over time.
I honestly, and
Okay.
to compare both of them at this time, I think both movies were more so about friendship first,
Okay.
and then it grew into love.
Into love. Got it. I don't know. I still feel like Monica and Quincy, I don't know, even in their early days, I still feel like there was still love that it was there.
I don't.
Scott and Leslie, I feel like that was more of a friendship. Now, Quincy and Monica were friends, yes, but I just felt like, I don't know, for me, I just got that feeling when I watched the show, like when I watched the movie, I just felt love to begin with.
See, I felt that they both had love for the game of basketball, which were their connection. I don't think they necessarily loved each other because she never really looked at him like that until the girl started looking at him in high school. Remember?
Okay.
Of course, initially, the first scene when they get the wrestling in the
Yes,
yard, he was like,
yeah.
"You want to be my girlfriend?" And she's like,
yeah.
"Nah, I want to be your girlfriend." Blah 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 blah. That was puppy love. That's a little.
Okay.
But when they got to high school, that's when, for him, I think it was him actually seeing her as a woman. Of course, he always thought of her like a little sister.
No,
I think he did. He never looked at her like that. You never saw that.
He wanted to be he wanted her to be his girlfriend.
No, not in high school. Not initially.
No, I'm talking about when they were smaller.
Right.
Okay, right.
But that was just the love of basketball.
Okay.
I don't think that had anything to do with them necessarily. He was like, "I love you." No, he just said, "Oh, we're going to be girlfriends now." At that age, you don't know what's going on. And you saw, which was probably the worst part, the dynamic of him portraying what he saw from his relationship with his father and his mother.
Right.
And that's what he tried to put on her. Remember, he was like, "Yeah, you got to get on my bike and ride with me."
Right.
And she was like, "No, I want to ride my own bike." And he was like, "No, you need... My dad drives my mom around."
Yeah.
So he looked at it that way.
Yeah.
That's not even understanding what love is. So I wouldn't say that was love.
But you got to still think about it. You still can be a product of your environment. What you see is what you kind of do.
You can.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of what that was.
Okay.
Okay, so then we talk about the relationship developed over 4 stages, like you were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Childhood, high school, college, and adulthood. So you're saying in childhood, it was a friendship. Their connection started kind of playful and competitive.
Yes.
But there was always, what I agree, an underlining emotional bond between the two. That's what I felt. Then we transition to teen years. This is their first love. As they grow, their friendship turns into more romantic. But then that's when the ego, ambition, and immaturity begins to interfere.
That is true.
Okay.
That is true. But from that point, when we got to the teen years, and there was a scene in the movie where the parents was fighting because he came home late, and the parents was fighting, and he got up, climbed out his window, and went into her, knocked on her door, and went and laid in her floor. Which, from the way it happened, you obviously have seen that has happened more than one time. So that wasn't the first time him just knocking on her door and going over there. Right. Because she literally just opened the window, threw him the pillow, threw him the blanket, and went back to sleep.
Right.
So she was his emotional support from the jump. And when we get to college, that's what led to them breaking up.
What did?
Because she put her ambition in front of being his emotional support.
When he needed her, remember?
When he needed her the most.
Right. She wasn't there.
She wasn't there.
Because I got curfew.
But she was technically there.
She still was there. She just couldn't be.
But no, and I say this in all honesty, he wasn't very compromising in that moment.
Mm-hmm. But he was selfish in that moment.
He was. He was extremely selfish because she. I think she suggested, well, how about we go back to my room and talk?
And he didn't want
that. But he didn't want to.
Right.
Very easily,
we
could have hashed out that whole conversation.
Right.
And
you're young.
Yes, and stupid.
Yeah.
But then you magnify it by going with talking to the other girl, taking her to Burger King, cheap date. But why? Why does he do that?
You've seen it.
Where did he see it?
Maybe with his dad. Remember, his dad was cheating.
Right, but why, and we kind of talked about this before, why do you take your frustration out on someone who is there for you?
Well, people say it all the time. The people that are closest to you
get hurt the most.
Yeah.
That's true. That is true. So,
not that it's right, but that's kind of what happens.
But then, in the midst of it all, she forgave him, kind of. And then when he was at his lowest, guess who comes back to be that support?
I think she was always okay with being in that role, to be his support. They were friends.
Right, but they became more than friends
yes.
They were lovers in college.
Yes.
Or from literally the last prom or spring dance or whatever it was until college.
But then that's when they say in college is when the conflict came.
Quincy
is rising in his career, and personal struggles with his family create the distance. Monica, she focuses on proving herself in a male-dominant sports, and she refused to shrink for love.
That she did.
Yeah. So they had that issue.
But then, even in the midst of that, both of them missed the one thing that they had their connection with. Of course, he got injured, lost the love for basketball. She got tired of being overseas by herself, lost the love for basketball. The love wasn't basketball. The love was those two. And at the end, literally, she let it be known, he let it be known, I really just miss you. It had nothing to do with basketball.
Right.
And you could see the passion come back into both of them with them competing like they did the first time they met each other.
Right. So you're saying in adulthood it was a reflection of real love.
It was a reflection of real love and them realizing, yes, I've always loved you.
So does that come because of time? Does it come because of experience? So you're saying that like after time apart they reconnected. And this time love was no longer about pride or competition. It was more about sacrifice and respect, right?
Yes, right. But then even in the midst of that, you could see his love was silent. He was quiet with his love.
In adulthood?
No, from the jump. He was at every one of her games in high school. And she realized the feeling she had for him when she went out with the guy on prom or whatever. And she was like, I can remember how many offensive rebounds I had. And he calmly just went, you had 4. He was there. Right. But he wasn't that rah-rah, I'm all that jumping up and down for you. But he was always there. She needed a ride home. He was there. He was at all of her games. He was the only one who could honestly be honest with her.
Yeah.
Like, he was like, you're not getting recruited because of your temper. Because you hot-headed. He said, you're messing your own stuff up. Because you are you in? And she gets into her feelings.
I was about to recite, yeah.
But that's the truth of the matter. He was the only one who was able to honest with her and check her regardless.
And I think the same for him. She did that for him as well. Or tried to, you know what I mean? There were moments where she tried to tell him that he was wrong in certain things. And he would kind of listen to her because I think of the friendship that they had.
Yeah, I guess. But when it comes to the both of them, they both realized they were good for each other. Even when they were both stubborn. Yeah, definitely. Like, when she went to met him at the hospital when he tore his ACL. Yeah. And he's in the bed, he was like, I tried to call you when you made All-American. I tried to call you when Magic retired. She knew she got those messages. She got those messages. And then she go, it probably was my, cheap answer machine.
She said that.
She got those messages.
Oh, okay. So why she didn't call back?
Funny, when I was looking at it, I watched it again today, and I'm sitting there looking at this movie, and I'm seeing stuff that I never saw before. Like, legit.
Really?
Legit. So I saw stuff that I never saw before. So when it came to that, like I said, she was his emotional support. He was quietly her emotional support, right? They were there for each other when they needed each other. But when they really needed each other, they both kind of pushed each other away. So when he was talking to the girl, I'm gonna call her this. She was a sore loser sometimes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like you saw when she lost the championship game.
Oh yeah.
She was pouting.
Oh yeah.
And you saw him could almost feel her pain. The look he gave her when he she lost. She fouled out. She lost. She's sitting on the bench. She got her jersey over her eyes. She's crying, and he's sitting there. You could see almost like he was trying to take the pain from her, and he was up in the bleachers.
Right.
But like I said, he was quiet. He wasn't rah rah all in. But he was there every single time. When she's sitting there worrying about if she's gonna get into USC, he was like, "Okay, let me open it."
Yeah.
He was there for her.
Yeah.
So his love was just a different kind of love. So what I noticed today was they just weren't speaking each other love language.
I was just about to say that.
They just were not speaking each other love language because they didn't know nothing about it.
Right.
They knew at this.
He was missing the mark and she was missing the mark.
They both were missing the mark.
They were missing love towards each other. It was just how it was being shown.
How it was being shown.
Exactly. And received.
That's very true.
Yeah.
And I'd never seen that or noticed that before. And I've seen this movie umpteen million times.
Because to her, you just being there, I mean, it was great that you're there, but she may have wanted something else.
No, and this is another part that came to me that I didn't realize before.
Yes.
When she was sitting there talking to her mother. So her mother tells her, he's marrying that flight attendant. And when, he could do better. But the mom was not that type of person where she was bold enough. Like, every time she seemed to have an issue, but they never showed it within the movie, she went to her father.
Yes.
So, like, when she came home after she kind of broke up with him, she came home, and the first thing she asked is, Dad here? Because she knew she couldn't talk to her mother in that context.
But I think it's also because how she saw her mother in the relationship. Remember?
Yes, but then even in the midst of that, women, and you know from this having a daughter, normally your mothers and your daughters are able to talk about that kind of stuff.
Right, but I'm saying, don't you remember her saying, I think when her mother had slapped her that one time, she felt like, she even said, like, you're a doormat to this man. You come in here, you're ironing his clothes, you're just taking care of him. You never can get your own.
Ironing his drawers.
Yeah, you never made anything for yourself. So she looked at her mom like.
But her mom explained it to her, which, once again, never really paid attention to.
What did her mom say?
That scene was very deep.
Yeah.
So her mom explained, I was fine sacrificing and giving up the stuff that I did because I did it for y'all.
Y'all, right. She did say that.
She said I had the big sister first, and she said I just decided I want to be there. Like, her most memorable moment was her going to that dance and getting all glammed up.
Yeah.
For her, that was go get Grandma pearls.
Yeah.
That was her big thing.
I say.
But what came out of that conversation when she let her mom know, I needed you. So she was getting the support from the father, because the father was at all the games. Yeah. The sister would be at the games. But the one person you really wanted there, and you can relate to this when it comes to your kids, they look for you. So mothers, please, no, seriously. So mothers, don't think it's not important for y'all to be there.
Oh, yeah. It's important.
You'd be surprised. Even if it's a sports thing and you don't know nothing about it, they just want you there. They just want to see you there.
Yep.
And I think she was missing that part, where he was missing the love and affection part because he never saw it with his parents.
Right.
So that's where
maybe they didn't know.
That's what I said. That's where the disconnect came in with them not knowing how to love each other the way they needed to be loved.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of times, like you're saying, it's just missed opportunity. You're saying just miscommunication on some of the dust-ups, as we will call them, that they've had.
But him doing that shady stuff with the girl was crazy. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
He should not have even entertained
But
that.
again, You in an environment, you seen that with your father, so you just.
But no, that's the thing. He never saw that.
You
with
never
the father.
seen it, but you knew what was happening. You heard your mother and your father arguing about him having other women, and he was a ball player himself. Mm-hmm. And what did he say?
Gotta watch out for these women. They're trying to trap you. They're trying to trap you. But no, so it was very dynamic. And like I said, I never noticed certain things, but as I was sitting here really, really watching it for the details more so than just to be watching it, so much just popped up that I really, really, really never paid attention to before.
Yeah. So discuss the scene, because you were saying that you remember seeing it today, Playing for Your Heart. Was it romantic? What was the...
Sad to say it. Sad to say it. He knew. He knew. Because it was funny how every time after he realized she was back home, he just seemed to always pop up. Like she gets off from work and he's comes walking down the hill.
Right.
And I think he wanted to say something as well. He knew the girl that he was with wasn't meant or wasn't good for him. He knew he still had love for her, but he knew that he messed up the way he did what he did.
Right.
And he didn't know how to come back from that.
Pride.
But the same thing with her. Like I said, she was a sore loser. She didn't know how to fight for things that she really wanted. No, just pay attention.
Let me try to follow you.
Go ahead. She didn't know how to fight for things that she wanted. She knew she wanted him. Her fighting for him was when he called a couple of times, you would have picked up the phone.
Oh, no. I'm not picking up no phone.
But see, that's y'all stubborn women. That's y'all stubborn women.
And that's fine. No. You're going to have to keep calling.
That's fine. Yeah, well. And I'm going to keep calling. But he said he called multiple times. It's not like he called once and never called again.
You better keep
he
calling.
He said, I called when you made All-American. I called when you graduated. I called when Magic retired.
Keep calling. Keep calling if that's what you're trying to do.
See, that,
you messed up.
That's...
yeah, it's going to take a minute.
That's fine. It took 5 years.
That's fine. It may got to take 5 more if that's what it's
But just imagine if she didn't come back when she came back and he did get married. What you think would have happened?
It would have been a brown sugar.
Exactly. My divorce. But that's not how it should have. She should have fought for that. Bang. She literally, and I'm no offense, she gave her man away to the girl at going to Burger King.
You can't give away somebody who don't want to be.
You can.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can. She gave her man away.
She didn't give nobody away. It was his time to go away. They needed that time apart, though, I feel.
No, they probably did, but still, you just walked away from, I'm going to call it, the love of your life. You walked away from the love of your life over him taking some girl to Burger King. Just listen. Over him having feelings about you not being there for him.
Yeah, well, we need time.
That's fine.
Because
you got it. I'll give you some time. I know you would have, but that's the problem with some women when it comes to you know what you want. And you're afraid.
No, if you want to go for hussy.
There we go. Now we're going out with hussies. Nobody going out with no hussies.
And that's what you want to go to. You want to go be with a tramp at Burger King.
Now she a tramp.
She
a hussy, she a tramp. Yeah. What else is she?
That's about as
clean as you can get,
as I can get right now.
She ain't a heifer.
All of the above and some more. If you want to go on with them, go on. I'm not coming fighting for nothing. No, not when you done wrong. Okay. Absolutely not.
Okay. You think there's anything else we need to touch on with this? Or can we move on to the other one?
We probably can, but I just want to say that this movie shows that real love isn't always perfect or easy. It can be messy. It can be delayed. It can be tested. But when it's genuine, I feel like it finds its way back. It finds its way.
And they say that all the time.
Absolutely.
If you really love each other, or if you're really meant for each other, it'll come back.
Yeah. And sometimes love needs timing. I think we've all had scenarios where the timing just wasn't. It just wasn't right. You weren't mature enough. Not to say that you're two bad people. You just aren't. You haven't matured enough, and you need to be able to be who you need to be for each other. But
I think for them, and the timing was the timing. Mm-hmm. But I think what really was the telling point was they both lost their love for the game. Yeah. At the same time.
Definitely, they both did.
And literally, that's what brought them back.
Yeah. And also, I think both characters had to realize to let go of jealousy, hurt, their pride, and their feelings so they can come back and be mature for each other and be able to be who they need to be for.
So let me ask you this question, honestly.
do.
The first time you watched this movie, when he decided, oh, I'm going to beat her ass, did you think that was the end? Did you think, what the hell is Love and Basketball? How is this Love and Basketball and she ain't going to get the man at the end?
Get the man, right. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
You really did?
Yeah, I think so the first time.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
Double or nothing.
That was crazy. Yeah.
Because she was walking away defeated.
Yeah. Let me ask you about this, though. I feel like Monica stayed committed to her dream, right?
She did.
Yes.
But keep in mind, and another thing that I never noticed before, but I did this time.
What?
His love for basketball was not for himself.
Who was it for?
He said, I needed ball when I was trying to be like my pop. So he didn't necessarily do the basketball for himself.
Right.
He was talented.
Right.
But he wasn't doing it for himself. He wanted to be like his father.
Wow.
Until his father disappointed him and showed him who he really was. And then he didn't want to be nothing like his father.
Nothing. Right.
That's when he lost his love for the game initially.
Right.
He just went, okay, well, I'm going to go pro.
Yeah.
He wasn't ready to go pro.
Right.
He knew that.
Right. Yeah.
But he didn't care. He was so hurt that he didn't care what happened.
Yeah. So let me ask you about timing. I feel like they said that, like, timing matters.
It does.
I feel like they loved each other so early on, but they were not emotionally ready.
But you've heard of stories. We were childhood sweethearts or high school sweethearts. And you've been together for 40, 50, 60, 70 years. That stuff happens. You'll be surprised when you find your soulmate.
You will be surprised. Yes, you will be. But if you two are not emotionally ready or mature, do you feel like the right love at the wrong time can still lead to heartbreak?
Oh, it did. You saw it in the movie.
Yeah.
You easily saw it in the movie.
Yeah.
And how hard was it, and no offense, don't take it like that way. How hard was it when he gets there? Of course, he was drunk, which is another thing that's not good. That leads to unbalanced emotions because you drunk, you don't really know. Exactly. He might have said some things that night he don't even remember saying.
Exactly, yeah.
So he came there drunk, just wanted, he was like, let's just go back to the room.
Yeah.
But he was trying to go back to the room and get busy.
Smash.
She was like, you want to talk about the thing now?
He didn't want to. And that wasn't the right time.
That was not the right time because, one, he's drunk.
Yeah.
Two, you see y'all already got, it's a little disconnect because he act like he didn't even know you when he walked in the party.
Right. So let me ask you before we wrap this up. What has been, because you said now, seeing this film 20 years later, you see it from more of a toxic angle. In what areas would you say that the film is toxic?
So, one, the dynamic of his parents.
Okay.
It's definitely toxic.
Yes.
Even the dynamic of her parents was a tad bit toxic. Because the way she looked at it or reflected on her mom said a lot about the father. Even though he seemed like a good dude, but his role was very minimal.
Yeah, it really was.
He didn't have much complexity to his character.
Yeah.
And it didn't really give much background other than he worked at the bank.
Right, that's it.
And, he was there as the father.
We didn't know much about him.
But that dynamic was there. Where, and this normally happens in black families, the mother's normally very strong. And for her to be like that, it was kind of scary to a certain degree. That's why I said I don't think she was a sore loser about things. Because she didn't have that strong mother who kind of said what she should have told her before.
Wow, okay.
At the end, she proceeds to tell her, no, I was saying, when I said, he could do better, I meant you. I was talking about you. And that's when it clicked. That's when she found the heart to go and be like, I'm going to get my man. That's my man. I'm going to get him. She was just trying to figure it out before, like, I don't know what to do.
Right.
Where normally, if you have that strong mother, she going to be like, oh, no, baby. That's a good man. You go get that man. But she never entertained that until it got to that part near the end where literally, and this was the fourth quarter, as they say, as they put it as quarters. It was the fourth quarter. So this is winning time.
It was.
This is the time to go get what you want. You want to win that game, you got to go get it.
Right.
It ain't nobody going to give it to you. You got to go take it. And that's what happened. But it took what she needed from her mother the entire time. She said I needed you.
I needed you, right.
I needed you. I needed you there.
Right.
Yes, it was nice to have my father. Yes, it was nice to have my sister there. I needed you there. Plain and simple.
There you go. Okay. Great. Anything else you wanted to point out?
I think we good, baby. Let's get on to my next joint.
All right. So tell us about Just Wright.
Just Wright is Just Wright.
Oh,
no, so Just Wright is a little bit different.
it is.
This one started as a friendship. So, of course, if you remember how she met him, he was at the gas station. Didn't know how to get the gas pump open on his car. So she helped him get the gas pump open so he could pump the gas, right? He invited her to the party. He's like, I'm having a party. Come on through. And as you saw in the movie, they portrayed it very, very quickly in the movie. She was that around the way girl. She was that home girl that you could hang out with. If you're a fella, you can kick it with. She gonna be chill. Y'all can go out and drink. Y'all can party. Y'all can have fun. But you don't look at her in that way. You don't look at her as, oh, she's sexy. Oh, she like that. But as you get to know people, the other qualities of her became appealing to Scott McKnight.
Exactly.
So, but it took so long, and even after he realized he did have feelings for her, he still turned his back on her.
Yeah.
When the cousin or the fiance came back.
Yeah.
Because she was she the glamorous one. She the one looks pretty. She the ones everybody's talking about. Oh yeah, you picked a good one, bruh. But she wasn't no substance. There was no substance behind her.
At what point did you think that he realized that?
He definitely realized it at that dinner.
Right.
So when she came back,
right,
and he was like, we're gonna go out, and they went to this expensive Japanese restaurant, and she was just ordering like she done been here 40,000 times. What about the sake and da. And he was just sitting there looking, and she was like, well, I went to the plaza and they said this day's available. He was like, no, that's premature.
He did.
He was like, no, that's very premature. But you saw on his face, he was like, oh no, she's just here for the money. She's just here for the lifestyle.
But tell me about the part with the mom, because that's what we were talking about.
Yes. So the beginning of it, you can see the two dynamics. The mom didn't like her. She didn't like the fiance. But the first time she met Leslie or Queen Latifah in the movie, she literally said, "Oh, I like her," and she said that multiple times within the movie. Oh, I like her. So after she helped him get through the game when he was afraid to play, she was like, yeah, I ain't one of them salad-eating chicks.
She did.
And the mom was like, oh, I like her. Because she probably could relate to her. She was like, she reminds me of myself probably the way she was talking trash too. But that other one,
she recognized who she was as a person.
Yeah, but you can tell moms can distinguish things a lot. Like, it's funny. I tell this story. So my mom, I was talking to this girl. I was in high school. I was talking to this girl. And the girl best friend had a baby. Okay. So there used to be a store there. I can't remember. I think it was called Ames. So they went to the Ames and they used the. I'm snitching. Yes, I'm snitching. So they used the baby stroller to steal.
What?
So they would put clothes and stuff underneath the baby in the stroller and stroll on out the store. I'm just snitching. I ain't saying a name, but I'm snitching. So the girl. So I was at my mother's house this weekend, and the girl comes looking for me. Blah 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 blah. I wasn't with them when they did this, of course, and my mom saw what happened. So my mom go, "You better leave that girl alone.
Hello.
She out here stealing drawers and stuff from Ames and whatever." Yes, Nakita. But my mom
playing. Not out here stealing drawers.
They were stealing panties and stuff from the store. Yeah, legit.
Oh wow.
And putting it underneath the baby and rolling out. I'm sorry, I'm snitching, but it is what it is. But my mom literally told me, and keep in mind, this is not my mom telling me, yeah, you shouldn't talk to this girl, blah, blah, blah. But she said, you better watch out for this girl.
And let me just tell y'all.
Here we go. Go ahead, baby.
I know.
No, go ahead.
If y'all know TC's mom, TC cannot do any wrong in her eyes.
That is probably a little bit true.
He ain't robbed that bank. I don't know how he got all that money.
I don't know how he got all that money in his pocket, but he ain't robbed that bank.
I promise you. Hit the people.
I shot 2 people on the way out the door. Nah, I'm just
and my son with and meanwhile, it's your son.
But no,
so yeah, for her to say that,
but on the real,
it had to be bad.
But on the real, that's the dynamic when it comes to things like that. The moms can really tell.
They can.
So in this movie, the mom literally let it be known. Right after he proposed to the girl, he was sitting on the steps with his homeboy, and the mom came down. She said, "Can I talk to you?" Now, of course, moms like this, they're not gonna just come right out and say, "Yeah, boy, this ain't the one. You better leave that girl alone." Right. They want you to learn on your own. Right. And they know men are gonna be men. You ain't gonna be able to tell them what to do. If they feel they love them at that time, guess what? You gotta let them find out on his own.
Gotcha.
So she literally hinted around to, I don't think this is the best one for you. But he didn't take heed to it. So when he was at his lowest, she dipped. Oh, he tore his ACL. He can't play ball no more. He gonna probably get some cheap contract now. They ain't gonna give him the full max. She dipped. Left it in a Dear John letter. No offense, just left it on the nightstand with the ring. At least she left the ring.
At least.
Didn't left her cousin out to dry. Didn't tell her she was doing it. So the mom comes up and she's mad. And she said, "You probably had something to do with this too." And she was like, "No, I don't know nothing about this. Yeah. But I'm gonna go find out."
I know that's right.
And her exact words was, "I'm gonna be back. I'll be back." I think the mother respected that in itself because she knew, she seems like good people. Now, the cousin, she phony. But she could see, okay, Leslie is real. Yeah. She's a real woman.
Yeah. So you think it took all of that, like over time, for Scott to realize that Leslie was the one who truly understood, support, and loved him for who he was?
He didn't have to fake.
Yeah.
And I think this is another point. And once again, watching these movies over again, I see stuff that I didn't see before. Yeah. So remember when the cousin moved into the house with him, she was like, "Yeah, he has this room. He goes in there. The door's always shut. I've never been in. I don't know what's in there." Leslie walked right in the room. Right. And he's sitting there playing. And, of course, men are men. He down on himself. "Man, I can't really do this, that, but." She was like, "No, go ahead." And she was playful with him. So she was like, "You go ahead. You play, I'll sing."
She did.
So the homegirl in her, which she's always been in this movie, you can see that, was appealing because he literally was in the trenches. Yeah. He was depressed. Yeah. And she pulled him out of there. And I think for him, and of course, it didn't click until he did that interview on ESPN with Stuart Scott. Rest in peace, Stuart Scott. And Stuart Scott said, "Oh yeah, that was the trainer that helped you." He was like, "No, she was more than that," because he started thinking about all the stuff she was doing. Like he down bad in the bed, don't want to get up. She came in, threw some ice on him. "Get up, let's go." Took him back to where it started. Took him back to the rucker and was like, "See, this is what it is." And he needed that. Yeah, yeah. And the sad part is he couldn't get it from the one he should have gotten it from. Because she just dipped.
Yeah. But I think real love is about support and not appearance. And Scott was drawn first to Morgan because of her looks, I think.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, but then he
finds... And the fact that she was lying on top of that made it worse. "Oh, yeah, I volunteered." Yes, girl, you ain't never volunteered for nothing in your life.
But he finds real love in Leslie, like you said, how she cared for him, her loyalty, and just how she was I think the biggest thing is authentic. Like she was just herself. She didn't have to put on for anybody.
And she didn't look at him like he was bigger than life.
Right.
Oh, yeah, you just got McKnight.
Yeah. Like her confidence, I think, is another thing that kind of attracted him to her. Like she was just, "I am who I am."
Right, I'm going to be who I am.
Exactly.
You like it or you don't.
Yeah. And I think she proved her love through consistency. Always helping him, kind of like what you mentioned, physically and emotionally, without, like you said, expecting anything in return.
That's true. That is very true.
And I would also say, like, don't settle for being overlooked. Leslie eventually walks away when she realized she deserved to be fully seen and valued. Remember
Right.
that?
He literally slept with her, and then the cousin comes back and he,
Right.
in essence, dumped her.
Right. Yep. Yeah.
But then he realized, yeah, she not the one.
So although basketball is the backdrop, but the real story is about choosing substance over surface. Recognize who truly has your back. Learning that love isn't always who you expect. It is who shows up for you.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
And I think the movie overall showed us that the right love isn't always the most obvious one.
That is so very true.
It can be the person who supports you and respects you and stand by you even when you're not at your best. And I think that's like I don't know why I feel like it's like a hidden myth. Like everybody be like, oh, you gotta just like love is just this beautiful thing, and it can be, right?
It can be,
but I don't think it always has to start like that or be initiated like that.
I think, and I'm not trying to be sexist with this. Women fantasize about what love looks like. When sometimes they miss it because they're looking for a certain kind of love. When the love that God has for them has been right there in front of them.
Well, talk to me.
So they're looking for this glamorous, oh, it's going to be butterflies and doves flying.
So I think that's what we led to believe. We grow
Well,
up
that's what you
thinking
see.
that.
That's
Right.
what you see in movies and whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. Sometimes love is just that person is there for me every day. Doing the daily routine stuff. But I love that.
Right.
And I need that.
Right.
That's what it is sometimes. That's what love is sometimes.
Yeah.
So you could see Leslie was that's what it was. I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm helping you get through your darkest, lowest moment. And regardless, because remember, he was a butthole at one point in time.
Oh, yeah.
She didn't wilt. She did not go, oh, no, I'm going to leave you like she did.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm not going nowhere.
No.
I'm not
Stay
leaving.
right
I'm not
there.
leaving until you good. And initially, it was about money for her.
Right.
Initially, it was, oh, I'm going to do this job. I'm going to make sure I do this job. But even in the midst of that, she found love, and she found it the way she wanted to find it.
Right.
She didn't find it from being fake like her cousin.
She didn't need to.
And another dynamic there. The father and the mother, her mother and father.
Yeah.
So her mother thought the cousin was it.
Yes.
So that's how you catch a man. No, that's not how you catch a man.
Promise you.
That's how you catfish a man. You
Right.
fake and get a man.
Then he gone.
But then your real person comes out, which came out very easily, that, oh, she's selfish as hell.
So let me ask you.
Ask away, baby. Ask
Because
away.
you are the movie critic. Which movie was your favorite?
So, you heard me say I can critique movies in a certain way. So, of the two, Love and Basketball probably is my favorite.
Okay.
And I'll say this because, don't take this the wrong way if you ever hear this comment. You ain't look like you was a real basketball player. No offense, bro.
God.
You ain't look like you never played damn basketball in your life. No problem. You ain't know how to dribble. You ain't look like a basketball player. I'm just saying. You didn't look like a basketball player. So, right. So for me, movies, I want them to be as realistic as possible.
You do.
So just his movements, he just didn't look like a basketball player to me.
That's why he got hurt.
Exactly like I heard. You 5'6" and you dunking like that? Come on, bruh. But between the two, and no offense, Sanaa Lathan looked like she couldn't play no basketball either.
Right.
But for girls, it's a little different. The skill level is not to the point where men are, so it's a little different.
Right.
So you can probably get away with that, but you can't get away with Common in the NBA, MVP, All-Star, hooping like that. So, loving basketball between the two is probably my favorite of the two.
Okay.
But that's because I looked at Just Wright the first time, like, yeah, he don't look like he can hoop.
That is hilarious.
And that kind of stayed with me.
I can see you.
I'm sitting there like, yeah, he don't look like no basketball player.
Yeah.
And I'm a coach, so I'm sitting there like, yeah, nah.
Not at all.
Nah.
And you still do that. You go around somewhere and we'll see somebody.
And I'll be like, yeah, he ain't. Nah, you might as well go on get on a chess club or something.
Exactly.
That ain't it for you, bro.
So over the years, how has your perspective of loving basketball changed from watching it the first time to now?
For me, just seeing the stuff that I never really paid attention to initially.
Do you think it's because of your experiences now?
I think it's more so just because of my age.
Your age, okay, gotcha.
And don't get me wrong, I've seen this movie multiple times.
Yeah.
And every time I watch it. If it's on, I watch it. Mm-hmm. But I guess the only difference now is I look at it a little bit differently because we decided to do this, night at the movie. Mm-hmm. So I looked at it a little more deeper than I would have before. Okay. So that's the only difference, to be honest with you.
All right, sounds good. Oh, you got a quickie you can find? Oh, you got anything else you want to add?
All right, we can go with the quickie if you want, baby.
Okay.
So let me go with this one.
Okay, let's see which one you're going to go with.
Let's see, which one
Let's see.
Okay, there we go. In both movies, the lead woman, Monica and Leslie, are experts at the game. Mm-hmm. One as a player, one as a trainer. Okay. Right? Does a man have to see a woman as his equal on the court and in the field before he can truly respect and love her off of it? Woo. And I say that because Quincy said this several times within the movie. I've never known a girl that loved ball as much as you do. Mm-hmm. He said that a couple times in the movie. Mm-hmm. And at the end, that's what kind of led to what it led to, because he asked, he said, why you stop playing? Mm-hmm. Why you giving it up? Mm-hmm. And she didn't have an answer initially. She did not. Because she didn't want to say, because you not there. Mm-hmm. Her pride wouldn't let her say that. Right. Until her mom kind of gave her confirmation, no, you better go get your man. Mm-hmm. So,
okay. Go ahead. So, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You go ahead. You got an answer for that question?
No, I don't. I was going to ask you. What was your answer? Does a man have to see a woman as his equal on the court?
I don't think so.
Well, you departmentalize things.
I do.
But I think that's your career. That's your job. So I think that's different than who you are when you come home.
Yeah, but I mean,
you may have to be dominating on the court. You may got to be a different person on the court.
But listen to this, and this is just another prime example of what I mean. Okay. So, in Love and Basketball, Quincy told her, you're not getting recruited because you're a high-head. Mm-hmm. And as she say, I'm a ball player. If anyone should know. If anybody should know that, as you. Because you get in somebody's face and that's seen as fine. Mm-hmm. But as a female, it's looked upon in a bad way. Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
But keep in mind what I'm about to tell you.
And she had a valid point.
She did, but even in the midst of that, men don't want a more masculine woman than them.
That's very true. So what if she not like that at home?
She was like that at home. She was like that from the moment he met her. Remember, she walked up and they thought she was a boy. Yeah. I thought it was only girls moving in next door.
Don't do my girl like that.
Seriously.
Yeah, no, you're right.
But it literally wasn't until she put the dress on, did her hair, put makeup on, that he looked at her like a woman or like a girl. All the rest of the time, she lazy ponytail, jeans, t-shirt. She was never dressed up. And to joke, as he said, who you going to dance with? Spalding?
Who's Spalding?
He let it be known, all you care about is basketball. That's it. And that's why he said, I've never known a girl who loves basketball as much as you. Though? There's nothing wrong with that.
But he still wanted the soft.
But he wanted the soft. Like, he wanted Sheena Easton with the big titties. Right. Oh, Lord. No, sir. Yes. That's what he wanted. Mm-hmm.
That's what he thought he wanted.
That's what he thought he wanted. Yeah, let's say it that way. Yes. Because remember, even at the end, he was still joking about her body. You remember that?
No.
When they was in the hospital? And she said, "Yeah, I tried to get into the NBA. I tried to sneak in, but they found breasts when they did the exam." And he said, "I never found them."
That is hilarious.
So he was on her the whole time,
right?
But you could see, like I said, I think more so their love connection was because of the sport. Mm. That was their connection. Okay, it was the sport.
Okay. All right, you want to hit us with the outro?
Yeah, I got it. want to say thank you. We tried something different. I enjoy watching movies. My baby
You've been smiling this entire
she let me
episode.
have this.
I did.
We're going to try to do this every once in a while. We got a couple more movies that we want to compare.
Yeah. We got to get baby boy out there.
Yes. Oh, that's about as toxic as it gets. And the sad part, it wasn't him. It was her.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I'm throwing that out there. It was Yvette. Yvette was the problem. Yvette just let the man just come back. Sorry, let me get back in. On time. No, but thank you, y'all. Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Look at both movies, and you'll look at them totally different now. Just look at both movies, and you'll see some things that you probably never paid attention to before.
Let us know if you do.
Let us know if you do. If you don't, that's fine, but just look at them anyway. Yeah. But we thank you for listening in, and we got something for you next week.
You should have enjoyed the laughs this week, because next week
ain't going to be no laughing next week. Nah. So, with the current situation of what's going on with Tina and her husband Teddy, we talking about, and we've done this episode kind of before, but this is part 2. So we're going to talk about Christians and unhappy marriages, and has the church failed us? Yeah, you see the silence? You hear the silence?
Causing couples to stay in unhealthy marriages based on the message or the word.
So does God really want you stressing and doing all that to stay, especially when the other person ain't involved or don't even want to fix it? I mean, I'm just asking. So tune in next week. We got one for you.
Let's see what the church saying about it. We're going to interview some pastors.
We might have to.
Previous pastor want to come on the show?
Pastor Whitlock did want to come on the show. I had to invite him. What you think, Pastor? Nah, I ain't gonna put him on the spot like that.
No, let him enjoy his retirement.
Enjoy your retirement, Pastor.
Only been a few weeks.
But no, we really want to touch on it because there's a lot of people, and we know the devil don't want married couples. We know that. Mm-hmm. We know that. Mm-hmm. That's why the divorce rate is what it is. Mm-hmm. But if there's a better understanding of why, maybe we can help some folks who might be on the edge of stepping out there and doing that thing. So we hope this is going to go well, but hey, it is what it is. We'll find out next week when we drop it. All right? But thank y'all for listening to this one. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. We had a great time watching the movies. We had a great time talking about the movies. We love y'all, and as we say, peace.